Kendrick Lamar is Nostradamus. What's going on, YouTube? It's only Knox Hill, and we're back with our reaction series. So today, man, listen, I've been enjoying doing some of these dives into past Kendrick songs, and there is a track where he disses Drake, and a lot of people have been talking about because there's some wild connections and correlations from then until now, and him predicting angles and things of this beef. So you know what? We're gonna dive into it. It's none other than King Kunta. But before we get any further, listen, if you like the shirt that I'm wearing, bars gotta catch them all. You like the hat, support the channel, knoxhilldmv.com. Go cop your merch, rep the brand, get it out there. I will put all links below if you want to get yours. But anyways, know what we're here for. Kendrick, step back up to the plate. Let's see what you got. Compton.
I got a bone to pick. I don't want you monkey mouth motherfucker sitting in my throne again. I'm mad, but I ain't stressing. True friends. One question. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him. Kunta, black man taking no losses. Oh yeah. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him. When you got the yams. What's the yams? The yam is the power that be.
I'll tell you what, you know the vibes this. Like, King Kunta, da 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 da. Just the way that rhythm hits. I mean, this is a hit. This reminds me of Not Like Us that we've heard. Like, Kendrick has flashed this in this past, this ability to give us these greater conceptual tracks, right? Where he really pumps in that subject matter. And we'll get into the breakdown of this. But at the same time, like the way that he just rides the production and has these pockets that are so catchy and so memorable. Like, he makes these hits that you can move to. He makes these motherfucking club hits out of just activist type music. And I think there's a talent and a skill set within that. And that talent shown through when he dropped Not Like Us. All right, let's bring it back and break down some of this because there's layers to this.
I got a bone to pick.
First off, I love the bass line. You got a little bit of that sort of funk to the bass line, and that comes into play later on. But also in the production, some of the credits for samples go to James Brown and what was it? Payback. And he references Payback in a little bit here when it goes, he mad, I'm mad. And then he even references it in a line later on within the verse. We'll point that out. We'll get to it.
I don't want you monkey mouth motherfucker sitting in my throne again. I'm mad.
I love how that just starts on one side of the mix and goes all the way over to the other side. He used that same sort of engineering technique with someone talking as they're like walking past you or riding past you. In this case, he's in the car, so it sounds like someone hits you on one eardrum and then flashes to the other as you're driving past. I love the way he sets that in the mix, but he used that tactic and technique in Miss Morale and the Big Steppers too.
Sitting in my throne again. I'm mad, but I ain't stressing.
There's your James Brown shout out.
True friends. One question. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him. Kunta, black man taking no losses.
Where were you when I was walking? That has a number of levels and layers. The first layer, if you look at the title, King Kunta, which is an oxymoron, right? Because Kunta is based off of Kunta Kinte. The Roots, the famous novel, became a film, has had a huge impact. Kunta Kinte, the story of the African slave brought over to the States, tried to escape multiple times, like 4 times, and then finally his slave owners gave him the option of you can die or we're going to cut off part of your foot. So they cut off part of his foot. So for Kendrick, that goes deeper to the literary reference. And Kunta is based off of an actual character, an actual historical character, as the story goes. And I think people have come out and claimed that they are descendants of him, and there's a lot of references to it, right? So for him, you have Kunta Kinte, who's a slave. But what does Kendrick say? That's very important. He says King Kunta, a slave who's a king. Why does he say that? Because he's making a statement about that, right? It's a very strong statement. It's a prideful statement. It's a statement about freedom. It's him lifting up someone who was looked down upon at that time in society and labeling and categorizing them as a king and empowering them. I think it's a very important line that he has right there that could just get caught up in the rhythm and as you're singing along and nodding your head to it. But what he's saying there. And then the walking goes even further. Let's break it down further.
King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him. Kunta, black man.
Everybody want to cut the legs off him. So for him, that's metaphorical, right? He's talking about his own career. Where were you when I was walking? Now I'm running the game. Go from walking to running. Nice, smooth juxtaposition right there. In this case, you know, when we run the game, we're on top. We're on our boss shit versus literally running. He was walking at first. Now he's running. Cutting the legs off like they tried to cut the legs off of Kunta. And they did cut his leg off. So in this case, Kendrick is saying they want to like knock me while I'm climbing, while I'm up. And then you know the saying, walk the walk and talk the talk. For me, that goes even deeper because I think Kendrick is also saying like, where were you when I was walking? I wasn't talking. I wasn't running my mouth. I was out here laying down the foundation. I was walking the walk and living that life and laying down the groundwork for it all. There's layers to it.
Got the whole world talking King Kunta. Everybody want to cut the legs off him. Kunta, black man taking no losses.
I also saw someone say, and reference, because I think the shots at Drake really come later when we get to the ghostwriter allegations. But there's also references here of like, where were you when I was walking? Because Drake playing Wheelchair Jimmy and Degrassi, that's how Drake got started. Drake couldn't walk. Where were you when I was walking? So Kendrick is like lording that over him. I don't know. That seems more really stretching it out. Like we might be called for a foul and reaching on that one. But I definitely think the ghostwriter allegations later on in this are the Drake shots.
Talking King Kunta. Everybody want to cut the legs off him. Kunta, black man taking no losses. Oh yeah. Bitch, where you when I was walking? Now I run the game. Got the whole world talking King Kunta. Everybody want to cut the legs off him. When you got the yams. What's the yams?
So then he has more literary references, right? So we shout out Alex Haley and the Roots. But now we get to Ralph Ellison and The Invisible Man, which is another very important and impactful cultural work. And in The Invisible Man, he talks about walking down the street and the smell of the yams. And the yams for him are symbolic of the past to the present, taking him back to a certain time, making him homesick. So he starts thinking about the yams. So the yams go deeper. But also, there's another work that I studied and read, and I've referenced before in my tracks. Shout out to Chinua Achebe. And he wrote When Things Fall Apart, which takes place in Africa. But one of the key themes of that, and talking about society there, was about the yams and how the yams become like a symbol of power. They become a symbol of monetary influence. And the yam output that you had as an individual marks your measure as an individual. So for Kendrick, the yams have a number of layers and a number of levels. And he's going to break it down for us and give us more meanings and more levels and more symbolism to it throughout. And this is what Kendrick does. He just throws out these words. Like if you listen as a listener, you hear the yams. On the surface, you're like, what the fuck is he talking about with yams? What are we making a stew? What are we doing? We cooking up tonight? Like what's going on here? But then when you look at the context and King Kunta and everything else that he talks about and sets up, you start to realize just the levels and the layering that this man has. There are no just like random word choices and eccentric choices. There is always a method to the madness and details behind details with Kendrick Lamar.
Oh yeah. Bitch, where you when I was walking? Now I run the game. Got the whole world talking King Kunta. Everybody want to cut the legs off him. When you got the yams. What's the yams? The yam is the power that be.
Here's our first definition of yam. He's giving it to us.
You can smell it when I'm walking down the street. Oh yes we can, oh yes we can. I can dig rapping, but a rapper with a ghostwriter. What the fuck happened? Oh no.
I can dig rapping. There's that James Brown line and that shout out. Remember, we talked about he's got sample credits and production credits on this one. So that line connects directly to that James Brown song, right? And then he goes, Drake, ghostwriter. That for me is just him alluding to the ghostwriter. Hang on.
A rapper with a ghostwriter. What the fuck happened? Oh no. I swore I wouldn't tell. But most of y'all share bars like you got the bottom bunk in a two-man sale. A two-man sale.
Woo!
Something's in the water. Something's in the water. And if I got a brown nose for some gold, then I'd rather be a bum than a motherfucking bum. Oh yeah. Bitch, where you?
Some of y'all share bars. And we're not talking about cell bars, but it's like that. He made that analogy. He's talking about these bars, gotta catch them all, rap bars. And the key is how we set it up with the ghostwriter. Some of y'all are sharing bars, right? I can dig rapping. But what's the heart of MCing? And we've talked about this multiple times now. What is the greatest talent that a rapper has? His pen. Your pen that you put into it. Because we're not singers, right? Our talent is what we put into our pens and our authenticity. And that's something that Kendrick lives by, the art of emceeing. So how can you truly respect someone who is constantly relying on ghostwriters? And I don't think there's a coincidence that this drops, and then months later, Meek Mill starts dropping the information about Drake having ghostwriters, and all of the Quentin Miller allegations come out. It's too coincidental timing-wise, and I really think that the dots here connect. And as we saw later on in the recent Kendrick disses, he really brings out the ghostwriter allegations on Drake. But you can see it stirring up here, because remember, this beef has gone on for over a decade. You can connect the dots to all the sneak disses and innuendos that they've been firing shots at each other for over 10 years now. And this right here is a great example of it.
Brown nose for some gold, then I'd rather be a bum.
Even the brown nose for gold, like you're digging up earth. Earth is brown, trying to find gold, versus brown nosing, sticking your nose up someone's ass, kissing ass within the industry. Kendrick saying, I've never really kissed ass. But you know what? I know people who have ghostwriters who often kiss ass to progress in the industry. What are we talking about? Hi, Lucy. How are you?
Something's in the water. And if I got a brown nose,
and something's in the water, because there seems to be a lot of this going on right now. What's in the water? It's a little contaminated in the mainstream.
something's in the water. Something's in the water. And if I got a brown nose for some gold, then I
Is that a DC hat? Let's go. Shout out the home team, baby.
rather be a bum than a motherfucking bum. Oh yeah. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off. King Kunta, black man taking no losses. Oh yeah. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta.
Black man taking no losses. King Kunta. He takes it even further. This empowerment, right? Because now he is using the music and the art form and his success to rise above it, to become king, to rise above oppression. And you see the connections and the parallels to slavery of the past and that oppression, to the oppression that he's overcome, and the way that he connects all this. And look, I'm a white dude commenting on these things. I can't relate to all of it, but I can listen to it and break it down and analyze it. And I'm privileged to have this platform and to appreciate the amazing art that Kendrick Lamar gives and shares the world, and the awareness that he spreads with people.
Oh yeah. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off. When you got the yams. The yam.
I forgot how much I fucking love the production on
When
this.
you got the yams. The yam brought it out of Richard Pryor. Manipulated Bill Clinton with desires.
Wow. Just a little, you just have these little moments. I've talked about this before with Kendrick, within the production that just gets caked into the instrumentation, like right there, just those little sounds. And before that, like the burp, sort of low, growly sound that you had just thrown in there on top of the keys and the dynamic changes and shifts and everything else happening.
Manipulated Bill Clinton with desires.
And for him, now there's another meaning that he gives us, the second meaning of the yams. We went from power, we went from money. So this is actually a third meaning, to drugs. Richard Pryor, cocaine. He was addicted to the yams, set himself on fire. So he's got the Richard Pryor comedian lines talking about him. See, it can get to comedians, it can get to celebrities, it can also get to politicians and people in important power. And for Bill Clinton, his version of the yams and greed was old Monica Lewinsky. And he was really building that intellect and getting that brain in.
Manipulated Bill Clinton with desires. 24/7, 365 days times 2. I was contemplating getting on stage just to go back to the hood, see my enemy and say, oh yeah. Bitch, where you and I.
Go back to my hood, see my enemy and say, where were you when I was walking? Where were you my day ones when we were suiting up, right? 365, 24 hours a day times 2. So 2 years I've been trying to get here just so I can say
Getting on stage just to go back to the hood, see my enemy and say, oh yeah. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the.
oh, like there's something that's a little bit auto-tuned. Again, you just have these little vocal cuts that they just take and they make a part of the instrumental itself. I just love it, man. Like you could just sit here and just find all kinds of new sounds and new samples and frequencies that they use throughout the production. There's so much thought that goes into what happens to these sounds sonically.
Legs off. King Kunta, black man taking no losses. Oh yeah. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off.
You goat mouth mammy fucker.
I was gonna kill a couple rappers, but they did it to.
Goat mouth mammy fucker. Instead of motherfucker, he goes mammy. And there's further historical references and context to that he plays off of. But I think it's important too. Like you see his boy with the chains, right? because again, we're back to the Kunta lines. So we're talking about slavery and chains. And now these chains have something different, right? Instead of representing oppression, these chains are representing wealth and success. So it's almost like taking something that was a negative and finding a way to flip it now into a positive and to rise above that.
Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run again, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off.
You goat mouth mammy fucker.
I was gonna kill a couple rappers.
Also, goat mouth, Jamaican patois, right? Goat mouth, when you have a goat mouth, like you can curse people, you have prophetic powers. So he plays off of that. But Snoop Dogg, who Kendrick loves and shouts out, also referenced goat mouth within his track Smooth. So you got layers to that too.
Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run again, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off.
You goat mouth mammy fucker.
I was gonna kill a couple rappers, but they did it to themselves. Everybody's suicidal, they didn't even need my help. This shit is elementary, I'd probably go to jail if I shoot at your identity and bounce to the left. Stuck a flag in my city, everybody screaming Compton, I should probably run.
Shit is elementary. I might go to jail. Struck a chord and it might be a minor. No, he didn't. No, again, there's previews. It's almost like he's a prophet. This is Kendrick Nostradamus right here giving us this. These rappers are going to kill themselves. They're going to suicide themselves. And that, for me, definitely feels like more Drizzy type shots right there. These ghostwriter rappers, because once the truth comes out, I don't even need to battle them. Right? They're going to get themselves in trouble. Some of them, they're going to be making apologies. They're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. They're not going to be able to deal with me.
Everybody's suicidal,
And I thought about Wheelchair Jimmy. You got the dude in the wheelchair on the right. Maybe. Let's reach today.
This shit is elementary. I'd probably go to jail if I shoot at your identity and bounce to the left. Stuck a flag in my city. Everybody screaming Compton. I should probably run from here when I'm done. To be honest, and I put that on my mama and my baby boo too. 20 million.
I should probably run from there. I should put that on my mom. Just right there. That just connected flow. There's no breath. There's no breaking. Like 4 straight bars. Like. And notice how everything drops down. I love when he wants to do this accelerated flow. You don't have a ton happening with the instrumentation. It's almost like a breakdown moment. So you have that juxtaposition of like simplification of production. And what he does is he gets more technical and really speeds up the raps and what he's doing on this. It just sounds super dope.
Your identity and bounce to the left, stuck a flag in my city. Everybody screaming Compton. I should probably run from here when I'm done. To be
hey, the mayor's giving him the keys of the city before.
And I put that on my mama and my baby boo too. 20 million walking out the court, baby, whoa, whoa. Oh yeah, fuck the judge, I made it past 25 and now
20 million walking out the court, fuck the judge. If you look at the album cover, hang on, I'm gonna clap it in so I know where to do this. Of Pimp a Butterfly, you got them out of the White House celebrating, and who's wrapped up down low? The judge, right? And it's almost like 20 million strong, marching, shouting out Malcolm X, 20 million African Americans in the United States marching strong, right? Taken from Africa, transplanted against their will within the United States, but now they're taking it back, the power. Give me that 40 acres and a mule.
Baby, whoa, whoa. Oh yeah, fuck the judge, I made it past 25 and now I was a little nappy-headed nigga with the world behind him.
Made it past 25. Pac didn't make it past 25, but you know the stereotype saying that when you're from these communities, when you come up in this area, most likely you're not going to make it past 25. So Kendrick's saying, look at what I'm doing.
I made it past 25 and now I was a little nappy.
But could also be judge, 25 to life. There's so many levels and layers to this, man.
Oh yeah, fuck the judge, I made it past 25 and now I was a little nappy-headed nigga with the world behind him. Life ain't shit but a fat vagina screaming, Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Limo tinted with the gold plate straight from the bottom. It's the belly of the beast, from a peasant to a prince to a motherfucking king. Oh yeah, bitch, where you and I was.
By the time
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? You've been struck by a smooth criminal. Shout out to Michael Jackson. I love how she quotes the lines there too.
Limo tinted with the gold plate.
But also, life is a fat vagina. Life's a bitch, man. Might as well fuck around and have some fun too.
Straight from the bottom, it's the belly of the.
And listen, if they're bigger, it gets cold in the wintertime. We all gotta stay warm. That's all I'm saying.
Annie, are you okay? Limo tinted with the gold plate. Straight from the bottom, it's the belly of the beast. From a peasant to a prince to a motherfucking king. Oh yeah.
Belly of the beast. Mark of the beast. 666. You know, coming from the bottom, coming through the devil where it's hot, coming from the bottom and rising up to a king, connecting to King Kunta.
Straight from the bottom, it's the belly of the beast. From a peasant to a prince to a motherfucking king. Oh yeah.
Peasant to a prince to a king. But also he had the Michael Jackson lines, and Michael Jackson has a son, Prince Jackson.
Straight from the bottom.
Versus, remember the Prince Michael Jackson references that we got later on in Drake? There's so many things that I'm seeing now in the past and connecting. Has this been planned for years?
The belly of the beast, from a peasant to a prince to a motherfucking king. Oh yeah. Bitch, where you and I was.
By the time you hear the next pop,
That's dope camera work, just syncing up right here.
Bitch, where you and I was.
Watch when he does it. The shot happens. The camera acts like we're like seeing it through the vision of the camera, so we've been hit. As we start to stagger and fall, and then the scene cuts and changes.
at the time you hear the next pop,
And almost like coming around, coming to.
the funk shall be within you.
Now I run the game, got the whole world.
By the time you hear the next pop, Michael Jackson, pop music, he gives you the pop, but then he's changing genres. When you hear the pop of the gun, now the funk will be within you, and he's about to give us that funk. Clever layers again.
The funk shall be within you.
Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him. King Kunta, black man taking no losses. Oh yeah. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off.
I Have a Dream, Martin Luther King poster right there. Lowrider. That is a motherfucking hydraulic bounce. Almost forgot to reference the obvious throne and him sitting in it as the king. Shout out to Parliament. Give up the funk. We want the funk. Kendrick Lamar talked about being influenced by them. But for him, the funk goes even deeper. It's not just a genre that we want, right? It's black heritage. It's black culture. It's black music and movements that he wants to bring back and empower throughout this. A lot of meta themes that he's stirring in the pot on this. Man, that is a gritty ass guitar too. I'll tell you what, there's certain moments that I have doing this when I just get to like break down something. And because I'm doing a breakdown and putting my analytical mind to it, it just makes me have a further appreciation for the artistry and for what goes into it. And for me, it's always a pleasure doing Kendrick because there's just so many levels and layers. It just reminds me why the fuck I love hip hop and love doing this and have a passion for it. I hope you guys enjoyed that dive into Kendrick. And again, it's almost like he really is Nostradamus. You can just see the connections and the different themes that come back around much later in this Drake battle. Kendrick Lamar, you were Knox Hill certified. Hope you guys liked today's video. Listen, for some reason you're here at the end. Obviously, enjoying the content. Do me a huge favor. Support the channel directly. Subscribe, notifications on. Really, really does go a long way. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay positive. It's only Knox Hill. You know, I'll catch you again.